Hi, it's John here from GPS Training and welcome to the latest walk and talk. It's a lovely, frosty, cool January morning here in Northumberland today. And what GPS unit are we going to be walking with today? It is the Montana 710, which literally has just come out in the last week. So we're going to go on a lovely 10-mile walk on the Simonside Hills with this large screen GPS unit from Garmin. So, as we do with all walk and talks, yesterday I planned the 10-mile route on our free Ordnance Survey route planning software, and I transferred it using the Connect app, which is the first time I've done this for a little while. So I'm kind of going over the process you could do if you plan your route on your mobile phone or your tablet or your computer. You've got a lot of flexibility, and then you can transfer it via the Connect app onto this GPS unit which has that connectivity. And then you'll see me in a few minutes time where I reset everything at the start of the day's walking. So you go to the website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, and click on OS Planner on the top menu bar, and it will take you to the relevant page. Now, before I do anything, I can just have a quick look where you want to go. Now, as you zoom in, you go from different map sets. So I'm just going to look at 150k mapping. I'm going to just quickly work out exactly where I'm going to go, just looking roughly on the map before I zoom in, and then I'd zoom in. So just get a quick overview of where you're going to go. And as you zoom in, you'll go to the 1 to 25k mapping, which gives you a little bit more detail. So what I'm going to do, every time there's a major corner in the path, I'm going to just click and I'm going to start creating the route of where we're going to go walking today. So there we are, a nice 9.61 mile walk. I'm just going to quickly check down and see there's 133 waypoints on it. I just need to rename this. So I'm going to call this Walk and Talk Montana 710. And what I do is, once I've done that, I let you go down the bottom and download the GPX file. And so now I've got on the download section, I'm going to transfer in what's called the Connect app today. So I'm just going to airdrop it because I want an Apple to my mobile phone, and then wirelessly transfer that onto my GPS device. So on my iPhone, here's the GPX file. I just send it to what's called the Connect app. You see it appears quickly on the Connect app. There's the route on the map, and all I need to do is then send it to the Montana 710. So what do we need to do at the start of the day's walking now we've got that course on? We need to make sure our GPS knows where we are, so we can check that on the satellite page, or make sure that our map is in the correct position. Next thing we need to do is calibrate that compass, which again you get access to our training videos in the online resource taking you through how to do those first two steps. Finally, I start recording the track, which is a breadcrumb trail of where we've been, and also it's reset that trip and track data. And then final thing we need to do is load that course into the GPS unit. There it is at the top, Walk and Talk Montana 700. Overlays it on the map, you can see it here, you can make sure it's the right one. We literally just press go. And then what do we need to do? We can just follow the arrow at the top of the map page, or alternatively, you go to the compass page, you can follow the big arrow, which gives you a lot more stats at the top. So as we do on all the walk and talks, what do we need to do? We need to just follow that arrow. You just can't beat a lovely crisp morning like this, can you, in the UK? If you thought I went through the process of starting the day's walking at quite a quick pace a few moments ago, you're right. These walk and talk videos are really to show you the navigation experience and a review of the GPS unit itself. If you want to get to grips with your GPS unit, have a look at the GPS Training online resource. In there's over 50 training videos how to use this GPS unit. If you buy your GPS unit from GPS Training, you get those access to those videos for free for the first year, or alternative, there's a small fee. So I'll leave a link in the comment box below. So again, if you feel that training would be beneficial, have a look at that. But keep watching if you're thinking about buying a Garmin GPS unit or a Montana 710, and see if this large screen GPS unit will meet your requirements. So let's have a quick think about what's the upgrades to the previous model, which is the previous Montana 700, 700i, 750i, and then we're going to look at the different models now we've got, which is the 710, 710i and 760i, and I'll tell you what the differences are. So first of all, what are the upgrades that we've seen from the previous model? The upgrades are quite simple really, which are improved battery life. So we've gone from 18 hours of battery life to 24 hours of battery life. It's about 30% increase in battery life, which is really nice to see. We've now got a USB-C connector, which is USB to USB-C, USB-C to USB-C. Again, if you buy a GPS unit from GPS Training, we're actually putting a USB adapter in, because I know a lot of people have still got just USB plugs on their PC and Macs, and they might be planning on Garmin Basecamp. And then the other key thing is we now have the ability to download mapping directly onto the unit. So if you are going overseas, you can download some foreign topo active mapping. And also you can subscribe to a new service that Garmin have got where you can subscribe other mapping for a small subscription per year. Sadly, that doesn't include the Ordnance Survey maps, so we've still got to buy the Ordnance Survey maps. But the key thing, which I think a lot of people are overlooking, is the increase in memory. So we've gone from 16 gigabytes in memory to 32 gigabytes in memory. And I think this is the big key change, because it'll give the Montana, the new Montana, a really stable base to build from. And again, we were often running out of memory when we're updating preloaded maps, etc. on the old unit. So those are the 4 updates that we've seen, which are the improved battery life, the ability to download topo active mapping, the USB-C cable, and that doubling in the memory. So let's look at the 3 models of units we've currently got, which are the Montana 710, 710i and 760i. 710 is that base model, which is what we're out with today, which is usually the most popular of the range. The 710i has what's called City Navigator built in. So that's Garmin's road navigation experience. So often these units end up on trail bikes, on motorbikes and off-road quad bikes, etc. And they'll use the City Navigator for their road work. But the key thing for the outdoor walker like ourselves is the 710i has the 2-way satellite communication built in, which is Garmin's InReach technology. This will enable you to send and receive messages via the satellites. It will enable you to do live tracking. And we've also got an SOS button on there as well, if you have an accident or you need to call the emergency services. There is a subscription for that. It's a bit like the mobile phone contract. I'll leave a link below to the various contracts available, but that's a contract between yourself and Garmin. And it is the best 2-way satellite communication currently on the market, because it uses what's called the Iridium satellites, which circle around the world. So these will work anywhere in the world, and it's top quality 2-way satellite communication. And then we've got the 760i, which is exactly the same as the 710i. We have the 8 megapixel camera built in, and the 8 megapixel camera geotags where your pictures are taken. So if you just don't want to carry a camera with you, or you've not got a camera on your smartphone, or you just like everything in one single waterproof outdoor product, look at that 760i, which has the built-in camera. So base model 710, then the 710i has a 2-way satellite communication and City Navigator. 760i has the City Navigator, 2-way satellite communicator, and also the 8 megapixel camera. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. But those are the 3 models that we've now got on the new Montana 710 series of outdoor GPS units. So just before we climb up to the top of Simonside, I'm going to quickly look through the main pages. Lovely thing about the Montana is down the bottom you've got these shortcuts, so you can quickly go from one page to the next. I always say people who come on our GPS training courses, the people with the Montanas are usually top of the class, not down to their own ability, but down to how easy this unit is to use. Again, we're going to press the map page, now we're on the map page. We've got the compass rose at the top, which is showing the direction we need to be walking in. Down the bottom, the blue arrow is us. The blue is the track, which is where I've been walking, and this is the course. The pink line, which is what I planned beforehand and which is what we've been following. I'll talk a little bit later on about what the difference between a route, a track and a course, because they have slightly different navigation experiences, and I'll explain why I'm navigating a course today rather than a route or a track a little bit later on. Compass page is what we'll tend to be navigating with the majority of the time. Big arrow, I can see this without my specs on, really easy to follow, and it gives you the date at the top, speed of walking at. Again, if we're navigating a route, it'll tell you how far it is off the next waypoint, how long it is at the end of the walk. Again, all these boxes are interchangeable if you choose to. Trip computer gives us exactly that kind of information: how high we're sea level, how far we've walked, what time we get to the end of the day's walking, moving average, so you can have this as stop time, moving time, with stop time down the bottom, moving time. All this is interchangeable according to your personal preferences. And then the elevation shows the elevation where we are. So we're just about to climb up to the top of Simonside and then start dropping back down. Shows you where the walk, height above sea level, etc, etc. And the magnifying glass is where we found that course at the start. If we go back to the main menu, we do have active weather, because this is now tethered with my mobile phone via the Connect app. I get live weather onto here. I also get my smart notifications as well. So there's a notification on my mobile phone. It will also transfer onto the GPS device. So WhatsApp messages, BBC Sport, whatever you've got on there, you can switch them off if you wish to. But that's all there. We've got the various things like recorded activities, sun and moon, so what time the sun rises, sun sets, etc. And then if we press on satellites, we can see the accuracy of that unit. So we can see 8 feet accuracy. There's a 10-figure grid reference at the top. NZ being the sheet number, which, as you know, is the in the UK, our ordnance survey is 100 kilometres by 100 kilometre squares, and that starts off with 2 letters. BNG stands for British National Grid, and then we see the satellites down the bottom. We've got Galileo and GPS. It shows you where they are in the sky, and as I said, we've got that 8 feet accuracy. So again, I'm mighty impressed by the accuracy of that GPS unit. But again, majority of the time when we're navigating a course, again, I'll explain later on why we're navigating a course, and you can see on the map where we are, and you can either navigate that, or if you wear specs like myself and you can't see the detail there, I just follow the big arrow on the compass page. So we're on the top of Simonside, fantastic views. What a great place to stop for your lunch. So I thought it was a great opportunity to tell you what the difference between a route, a track and a course. When I was looking through the screens, I mentioned we were navigating a course, and I also mentioned that was the case when we transferred it yesterday onto the GPS unit. So what is a course, what is a route, and what is a track? Let's start with a route. So a route is a collection of waypoints or via points that have been joined together. So when we planned on the OS route planning software on our website, we actually created a route initially, because I was creating a waypoint to a waypoint to a waypoint. Every time I clicked, if you were navigating that as a route, you would get an audible beep when you hit that waypoint. So if I had wanted a route at that point, if I had plugged my GPS into my Mac or into your PC and transferred it onto my Montana 710 in this case, I would have been navigating a route. And we would tend to navigate a route for most day walks like this, where we've planned where we want to go. There's a lot of turnings. I've decided where to go rather than following a long distance trail or something like that. I would tend to navigate a route. But I sent it via my mobile phone, which converted it into a course. So we send anything via the Connect app, it will always be a course. So if you've only got a tablet or you've only got a mobile phone, you're going to be planning on that, and you send it to, that's the only way you're going to be able to send it to your GPS unit. You're always going to have a course. Now, what is a course? A course traditionally comes from the world of GPS watches. That's the way they send data from a mobile phone or a tablet to a watch. So the king with the course is it's a silent navigation. So the only time we get an audible beep on a course is if we go off course. So again, I'm having to look more at the arrow at this point and make sure I'm going in the right direction. I've had it beep at me a couple of times. I get my GPS unit out and see exactly where I've gone wrong. I can jump onto the map page and work it out accordingly. So a course is a silent navigation unless we go off course, and then we'll get an audible beep on the GPS unit. And the only way to get a course is to send it via the Connect app and also the Explore app as well. And then I said a track is the third one. A track really traditionally is a record of our trip. So at the start of the day's walking, I started recording that track, which is a record of our trip. Now, a lot of people have started navigating tracks. And again, I would do if I was navigating a long distance trail, something like the Pennine Way or Hayden's Wall Trail, because really I'm not going to get lost, hopefully, because I'm going to be following signs. And if I did go off track or off course, I would get an audible beep. So the navigation experience is very similar, if not identical, to what we get on a course when we're navigating a track, which means if we go off track or off course, we get an audible beep. So again, think if you're navigating a long distance trail and follow arrows, I shouldn't really get lost, but it's quite nice for that GPS to keep the stats, work out where we're going to stay that night, etc., navigate to the accommodation. So again, at the start and the finish of the day, it's really helpful. But again, if you accidentally made the wrong turn, it will give you an audible beep or a vibration to let you know that you've got off track. So that's the difference. A route is a collection of waypoints that have been joined together, which give you an audible beep when you go across a waypoint. A track is really a collection of track points, and that's a silent navigation unless we go off track. And a course, again, is a silent navigation and will give us an audible beep if we go off track. And we get a course when we use what's called the Connect app to send it. Now, thinking about how you're going to plan your routes or activities beforehand, give us a call. If you're thinking about buying a GPS unit, give us a call. Let us know what you got. I've got an iPad, I've got a Samsung tablet, I've got a Mac, I've got a PC, I've got this, and we can kind of work out the best way that you want. You can tell us your computer skills. Now, if you're computers, use Garmin Basecamp. If you're not, use our free route planning software. We can talk through those things with you and work out the best option for you. So, hope that all makes a little bit of sense, what a route is, what a track is, what a course is. And again, if you have any questions, just give us a shout. But for me, what a lovely day. I'm going to head on my way across the ridge of Simonside. There's quite a few people out today, which is unusual for up here, but hey, why wouldn't they come up on a lovely sunny day like this? I'm going to head on and enjoy this stunning day. So we've just come over the top of the Simonside Rig. We've done Simonside Summit, and then we've done Dove Crag, and now we're just heading over to the beacon. So it's a lovely ridge as we keep our height. Next subject we need to think of is maps for this GPS unit. So Montana 710, 710i, 760i. What map should we have on it? Garmin send it preloaded with what's called Topo Active Mapping, which is Garmin's mapping, which is great. The problem is in the UK, it doesn't show rights of way. It just shows everything as a path. So the reality is we really need ordnance survey maps to sit on this unit. So options are 1 to 50k mapping or 1 to 25k mapping. 1 to 50k mapping is the cheapest, and that gives you everything you need. So it gives you footpaths and bridleways, and it's the old Land Ranger, or it's still the Land Ranger map, the pink cover, if people think back to their paper map times. That gives you everything that you need, the 1 to 50k mapping. And if you buy it in with the unit, a little bit discounted, you'll be getting it for like £125 on top of the price of the unit. Now the 1 to 25k mapping gives you everything that the 1 to 50k mapping gives you, but it also gives you open access areas, permissive footpaths and field boundaries. Field boundaries are less important on an outdoor GPS unit, but open access areas would be useful, especially if you walk within national parks, and permissive footpaths again would be useful, especially if you walk in national parks where there's a lot of permissive footpaths. I always say it's like buying a car, isn't it? You can buy a car with a 1.6 litre engine or a 2 litre engine. Is the 2 litre engine worth an extra 2,000 quid? More than likely not. Are you the person that goes for that? Yeah, whether you're the person who should be buying 125k mapping. I'm never going to not say 125k mapping is not better, But don't not get a GPS unit because you can't afford 125k mapping. Because don't forget, you can plan on our free OS planner on 125k mapping, then overlay it on the 150k mapping on your GPS unit. So make sure you buy the maps in with the unit when you purchase it. And if you can afford it, 125k mapping is best. We've got the mighty Cheviot Hills behind us. You can see the snow on the Cheviot Hills, the highest point being the Cheviot itself. But one thing we need to think about on the Montana is how does it perform in cold weather when you've got gloves on like we have today. It's been a mighty cold day today and I've got big, thick, heavy gloves. As you can see here, the touch screen performs really well with gloves on. So there's actually a glove setting. I've actually not even got the glove setting on at the moment. I've just got it on the normal setting, and you can see how easy it is go from one page to the next. So you can use this without taking your gloves on. Next thing you need to think about is how you're going to carry it. As you see, I've got a carry case on my rucksack strap around my waist, and that's how I carry the Montana GPS unit. Past there, sits there on my waist belt. It's not a very heavy and thick waist belt on this rucksack, but it sits there without any problems. It is a big GPS unit. I think if you think you're going to carry it in your pocket, you're going to be your pocket's going to be weighed down. Again, carry it in your hands, especially on a day like today. If you accidentally slip, you potentially could damage that GPS unit, even though it has got that Gorilla Glass on it. So treat yourself to a carry case. You can put it on your rucksack strap around your waist there. I've actually got a lanyard on it as well because I'm terrible at losing things, so it's attached to me. So if it falls out, or if I accidentally put it down or don't pick it up or something like that, I'm never going to lose it because it's attached to the case. Case is attached to my rucksack, and my rucksack is well, I'm hopefully never going to lose my rucksack during the day's walking. So two great things: get yourself a carry case if you think about buying a Montana GPS unit, and don't worry, in cold weather or in wet weather, the touchscreen performs absolutely brilliant. As we continue our descent, we're on St Oswald's Way. You may know St Oswald's Way. It's a 97-mile long distance trail. It starts off at the Holy Island of Lindisfarne on the Northumberland coast, and then it comes down the Northumberland coast to Warkworth, comes inland to Rothbury, and then it climbs up over the Simonside Hills, Harwood Forest, and finishes off at Heavenfield on Hadrian's Wall. It's a really nice long distance trail. So the Montana is a large screen GPS unit. We all know that, don't we? So what are the benefits and the downsides of a large screen GPS unit? Let's do the negative side first. The negative side is it's a big GPS unit. We really need to carry it in a carry case because it is big, straightforward as that. But I think that is totally outweighed by the benefits of a large screen unit. So large screen unit enables you to look a lot further ahead than you can on a smaller screen GPS unit, which gives you the benefit is you don't have to plan your route before you go. So on my walking talks, I always start off by planning my walk before I go, and that's really how a GPS unit should be used. And that was one of the reasons I started doing walking talks all those years ago, to show people the process you should be going through. But with a Montana, because the screen is so large, you can actually look ahead of yourself 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kilometers. So if you don't want to plan on the hoof and you just want to have more of a moving map, or rather, if you want to plan on the hoof and you want more of a moving map rather than have to pre-plan all the time, the Montana series is actually ideal for that, isn't it? So what you can do is you could plan your route, but if you want to deviate from that route, change where you're going to go, because you've got that large screen, you can see what's around you, unlike what you can on a smaller screen GPS unit, and you can literally just follow yourself on the map on that or on the map page. here we are at the end of the walk, the home of GPS training. Who is it that said there was no planning went into these walk and talk videos? I'm going to quickly show you how you finish off recording your track on the GPS unit, and I'll come back and say my goodbyes. So, because we're at the end of the course, it's automatically stopped navigating the course, because we know we've stopped navigating, we've lost the arrow in the compass page. So again, when we're navigating a route, that will still have an arrow in there, but because when you're navigating a track or a course, when you get to the end, it just automatically stops. You can actually see down on the map below the track, which is the breadcrumb trail, our GPS behind this thin blue line. So the only thing we need to do is just record that track. So we literally just, as we said at the beginning, press the power button lightly on the side, press on activity recording. We've been going 4 hours, 35 minutes, 10.86 miles. So it just shows I've done a little bit of running to and fro to get the cameras, and I literally just stop that there. Interest, 67% battery life. So again, it's been freezing conditions today, so that's performed very well, and we can just save that track. And there's the information, 4 hours 35, total distance 10.86 miles, number of track points, etc, etc, and we can just save that down the bottom, and then that's all done. So that is all finished, and the track is saved. Now don't forget, the track is that record of our trip, isn't it? As always, many thanks for watching the latest walk and talk with the Montana 710, which is the same as the 710i and the 760i. If you have any thoughts or feedback, just leave them in the comment box below. And if we can help in any way, if you're thinking about buying an outdoor GPS unit, or you've got a GPS unit and you want some support and training, please do look at the various packages that are available for that. And again, if you can give us a thumbs up if you're watching us on YouTube, that really does help. And again, thoughts and feedback so we can move this forward in the right direction is always appreciated. So from myself, John, from GPS Training, many thanks for watching. Be safe and enjoy your walking.